Hey there guys, today we're taking a look at Valorant running on the AMD Ryzen 5 5500U, this time with 8 GB of RAM. Now we've taken a look at this game on here before, but this time around we're taking a look at it with the drivers that actually are updated to support the DirectX 11 fixes. I never went back and actually checked out this game on here with the 8 GB of RAM. Now after playing a few games of Valorant on here, I have noticed that there is some improvement in terms of the results on here. Consistently at the 15-watt TDP, we are getting better results than the older drivers with a 25-watt TDP. You can see here from the gameplay of the older video that I did with the older drivers at the 25-watt TDP. Now keep in mind it's not on the same map and there is a little bit of variance in between the maps, but usually not this big of a gap in terms of performance. But you can see here that at the 15-watt TDP with the exact same graphics settings and everything, we are getting noticeably better performance, specifically in the 1% lows and a nice little bump in the averages. Now the footage from the older video looks a little blurry here just because, it had to be downloaded off of YouTube, but both are indeed running at the full 1080p resolution. And the level of performance that we're getting on here is noticeably different. And in general, I think that it's the 15-watt TDP that actually sees the biggest gain here, because throughout multiple maps, we were consistently staying at pretty much around a 120 hertz average, usually with a bit of a variance between 5 FPS really, and our 1% lows almost always stayed at 60. It was really only in the most demanding situations where everybody's using their ults in one area that you would see the 1% lows drop at all. So overall, the results of 15-watt TDP are actually really incredible. Now the 25-watt TDP also sees an uplift, but not really in the averages. We're really hitting a limit here, and I think that the FPS limit that we're reaching here is really just because of the CPU. If the CPU here could clock higher than 4 gigahertz at this low a usage, then we could potentially see some higher performance on here, but it's really the 1% lows that get a nice little uplift. This time around being around the 70 to 80 FPS range, just depending on the map. And since we're on the same map as the older video, you can see here that the results are at the same 25-watt TDP, pretty noticeable in the sense that, again, 1% lows this time around above 60 pretty much all the time. Our averages are pretty much maxed out at what this system is even going to be capable of because of the CPU limitation. This is one of those rare instances where this is a game where you are more CPU limited than anything else. Now, obviously, there will be moments where the FPS will go above 120, but really this is about a hard limit just in terms of getting a decent average. You aren't really going to be able to consistently keep an average higher than around 120 at most. While with the older drivers, it was pretty much around 90 FPS average, sometimes going as low as 80, and our 1% lows will sometimes take a major dip into the 30s range. So overall, I'm actually really happy to see the results off of this, and the new drivers really did do a good uplift in this game. And I'm really happy to see that because Valorant is one of those games where an uplift like that can make the experience so much better, especially if you have a 144 hertz display. Maybe something to think about if you have a system with this specific chip. But anyways, I hope you found this quick little look of Valorant with these updated drivers. They have been out for a while now, but it was just one of those things where I never went back to look at it with 8 GB of RAM. I'm glad I did because I'm actually super pleasantly surprised by this. But anyways, I will see you guys in the next one.